Welcome to today's session with FuseSign, great friends of BGL. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the FuseSign experience and how you can actually transform your processes within the BGL products using the FuseSign platform. Today, I'm privileged to have hosting or presenting is Jackson Brigg, and I'm pleased to be hosting him today. Jackson is the Business Development Manager at FuseWorks. Just a little bit of background with FuseWorks. Like, we started working with the team at FuseWorks some time ago. And the team provide an amazing digital signing solution that we've been able to integrate into the product. And their product is fantastic. And this is why we team up with people such as FuseWorks and delivering the FuseSign integration. But we also team up with organizations such as FuseWorks because of the great synergies between our teams, our people, and our culture, right? So it's more than just a product. It's an experience that they deliver. And at BGL, that's something that we're really big on, is the whole area of service and experience. And I'm so pleased to say that the team at FuseWorks delivers both exceptionally well. So we're going to today go through a little bit about FuseWorks FuseSign, and then Jackson's going to deep dive into it a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and show you a demonstration of the process within Cads 360, and then I'll briefly touch on it in Simple Fund 360. However, the whole area of digital signing has become more and more prominent since really the pandemic. And while it was gaining traction up to that point, the beauty of what we've been able to develop is that now it's become far more widely adopted because the need for such signing has never been more important or more needed. And as we move more and more into the virtual world and into more paperless type environments, digital signing is really a process that closes the loop in a truly beautiful way. And we know that the process really does reduce the time that it takes from the document production to the delivery to the signing, and really saving our users really precious time when it comes to delivering reports and documents to clients. And plus, not only the time taken for processes is reduced, but also being able to get things signed quickly in the times that you need them signed quickly. That is now possible also, because that whole delay of printing, putting it in the post, sending it through the mail system, those days, yeah, they may exist still for some of your clients, but it's something that people are moving more and more away from. So today I'd like to introduce to you Jackson Brigg. Welcome, Jackson.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome.
I know that you're an amazing presenter, and what I love about you is the fact that you are so passionate about what you do. And I know that together, yeah, there might be a little bit of banter and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're here to solve a problem and to really deliver to our clients an amazing experience. So I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm very much looking forward to being a part of this.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Daniel, and thanks for having us on today. It's something that I'm really probably a little bit oddly passionate about when it comes to digital signing, but having relationships like we do with the team at BGL, make it easy to be passionate. We've got a really great function, not only with FuseSign as a standalone tool, but obviously through some of the integrations that we have, like with BGL, and that's what we're going to focus on today. But to kind of take a bit of a step back, obviously, some of us here may not know who FuseSign is or FuseWorks as a business. So sort of why FuseSign, why we developed the tool to begin with, a little bit around, why we're an accounting firm and why we developed this for the accounting industry, just so, we have some certain feature sets and certain integrations that really push us towards being accounting focused, and we're really sort of focused within this space, and some of those key features that tend to go along with that. And then, as Daniel mentioned, going through a bit of a deep dive around the integration with primarily Cads 360 and also showcase through Simple Fund 360. We are going to do a Q&A, so please pop in your questions. Daniel and I will sort of get to them as we go along, but we've got some time dedicated towards the end. So please stick around so we can go through all of your Q&As. And obviously the chat is there. So, if there are things that we're talking about that are relevant, things that you're liking with BGL or with FuseSign, if you're already a client, definitely worth getting that chat engaged. The more engaged, the better the session. So please feel free. We all know how this works now in terms of the housekeeping. We're all very familiar with Zoom, I think, at this point. So to firstly kind of have a look at FuseWorks as a business and why we started the business to begin with. And so for those who don't know, as a business with FuseWorks, we're really kind of driven by automation and delivering smart tools to accounting firms that really allow you to work smarter, so we can be freeing up the time to focus on the work that's really important. Obviously, that's all that client-facing work that we love to do. So if we can automate a lot of the back-end processes and give a nice client experience, ultimately, we're going to be able to provide a better service and then refocus that energy into areas that are probably a little bit more prominent. So we do have a fair amount of insight into the industry. The FuseWorks was born out of our accounting practice, which is the team just behind me here. And as accountants, our team was very familiar with some of the challenges, I'll say, that the industry faced. And it's not really a case of trying to solve a problem that we think exists. It's about solving a problem that we know exists within this space. And so we're not coming in trying to make issues or make problems that we're then trying to solve with pieces of technology. This has really come out of our accounting firm and their mantra to say that there has to be a smarter way of doing this. So Melissa Voss, our founder, she does not let me do anything twice. If she sits over my shoulder and sees me doing a process more than once, she's like, "No, we have to find a better way to do it. Surely there's a better way." So that's really where FuseDocs, FuseSign, FuseCharts as products all really came from, along with Scott Barber, who's our head of product, went and instead of really trying to continue the search in the industry for solutions and realizing that they weren't there or they weren't quite there yet, we decided to go and build our own and fix the problem ourselves. And obviously today we're really focused heavily on the FuseSign aspect, so our digital signing tool. So when we're looking at FuseSign and when we look at pretty much any decision that we make within our business, whether it's feature improvements or releases or integrations or experiences in any kind, we look at two areas. So it's the business need first. So how do we make sure that this is going to fit within what our clients are actually needing day to day? And obviously the client experience, and how does that translate into making sure that we give our client a nice, easy, simple experience? So for the business, it's really focused around flexibility. We have a huge amount of variety in terms of different documents that are being signed or sent out from an accounting firm or a bookkeeping firm. There's a lot of different variables in terms of who needs to sign what, where they need to sign, who needs to see certain documents, who doesn't. And so we really focus our platform around making sure that it's flexible, but it's really powerful and really simple to use, which is a bit of a fine balance, as you can imagine, but we think we do quite well. And then on the client experience, it's really number three. We can round all this off to say that we just need to give our clients, our clients, a really simple experience when it comes to getting things signed and returned. And we sort of do that by giving really easy access, no need for usernames and passwords. So any of us that may have used or currently use like a portal of some kind within their business knows that there can be frustration around clients needing to have unique emails, set up username and passwords, create those accounts, which ultimately is just putting in barriers in front of our clients, which are stopping them from getting those documents signed and returned. So we just provide a really nice, easy experience for the client to jump in and to get that done by not requiring the username and password for one, which I'm going to dive into in a second, but also providing a nice, easy mobile experience, I think is one thing that is really relevant for me in particular. I'm hoping my accountant's not on this call today because she knows that if she wants me to get any document signed, the best thing for her to do is to not just have that email go through to me, but she uses FuseSign's function to send an SMS notification, which means I get a text to my phone that says, "Hey, you've got some documents to sign. Click on the link and go through and sign your docs." Ultimately, that way we're providing a good experience for the client, but also on a selfish note, we're getting those documents signed and returned back, so we're not spending time chasing clients up for things that we need, and ultimately it goes full circle. So little things like that make a big difference. And if we dive into some of those feature sets a little bit more, if we look at the SMS capability, and this is kind of our solution to the username and password issue that we've been seeing in the industry for the last couple of years in particular. What we do is we provide a really simple 2FA, which means your clients don't need any username and passwords. If you have husband and wife sharing an email address, which I'm sure everyone on this call has at least a couple, there's no need for any sort of account creation with FuseSign. It's simply utilizing the details that we have, like their email and their mobile number, to provide that 2FA code to a unique factor, which is typically that mobile, which means the client can jump in with ease, sign off on their documents, and have them sent back with no issues at all, and no barriers. Obviously, our clients are trying to run their own businesses as well, so the easier we can make it for them, the better it is for us. Having that mobile-friendly experience, of course, all the legally binding aspects as well that we need, that's required around digital signing. And probably one of the most relevant things that's coming up more and more now is having an affordable solution. So we know that there are solutions in the market at the moment that are kind of getting a bit far outside of is it worth having digital signing within the practice when it's not actually an affordable solution? So we make sure that we try to keep our solution as fair and transparent with our pricing and affordable as we possibly can. And we think we do quite well on that front. Some of the other things in terms of the actual feature sets. So this is where we look at ways that we can manage our team internally, or ways that we can make that, that workflow a little bit more seamless. So having functionality like our teams feature, which basically gives a firm the ability to categorize or separate out different teams within the business, whether it's different divisions or different offices. So that way we're having the ability to keep some privacy across certain teams. I always use HR as an example. You know, if we want to send employee contracts out, we don't want the whole team seeing them. It's only going to be relevant to the directors and or the managers, and obviously that one person that we're sending those documents to. So having some ability to keep some privacy within your account without having to manage multiple subscriptions. One big one is that firmware dashboard. So especially with your integrations, when we're looking at firms who work with us who might use, you know, Lightyear Docs or FYI, BGL, Change GPS, and all these other platforms that we integrate with, having that centralized dashboard. So no matter what goes out from the business, we've got a firm-wide view across everything that's out. So there's no need for sharing usernames or passwords or logins or anything like that. We can keep the security in place while still making sure we have full visibility across the teams that are relevant to us. Granular Control is one that's being picked up more and more, and this is the ability to be able to basically hide certain documents within a group. So if we're looking at a family group where we've got a lot of moving parts and we might include the adult children because we want them to sign their tax return, all the other documents within that pack might not be relevant to those to that adult child or to the children. So we can hide every other document within a pack except for their ITR, which means we keep everything in one simple transaction while still being able to make sure we keep that privacy across packs. So ultimately, it's less work for your team to collate those packs and put them together and send them out. And we're also then not giving the client 3 or 4 different emails with different things to sign. Again, we're going back to that client experience and saying, how can we easily get this in front of the client so they have everything they need, they can sign, and they can get it back to us with ease as much as possible. So that's where we sort of focus. When we move into the integration side, and especially with BGL, and Daniel, I'd like to sort of hand it back over to you as well in this and ask the question in terms of, and you mentioned a little bit at the start as well, but when looking at all these different providers within the industry, why was FuseSign a relevant one? And it was before my time, actually. So why FuseSign amongst the others? And you know, why do the team talk about us when they're talking about digital signing with BGL?
Look, with our digital signing solutions, we do integrate with several providers, but what we liked about the FuseSign one is that apart from, as I said at the beginning, the people behind the product and the natural synergies, which we love to have with all our partners, what we'll be able to do is we're able to come at a really strong price point for our integration and for the digital signing option. And the reason we're able to do that is because we're able to use some of the technology built within our products as part of the digital signing, which then FuseSign didn't have to use. It was all around the whole SMS stuff, right? So we had our own built-in SMS system, and we didn't need to leverage off FuseSign's one. And then based on that little bit of that really strong point that we had, we were able to look at the whole solution and say, okay, not only can we provide a great solution, but we can also price this really strongly. So what we're able to do is to deliver to you the ability to get documents signed or a document pack signed, and really at a very, very, very strong price point, which I think sits at around about $1 or somewhere between $1 and $1.10 per envelope, regardless of the number of signatures. So it's a really, really strong price point. And when you actually look at it, you're paying $1.10 or $1.20 for a stamp. So the value proposition from a pricing perspective was just really, really strong. But then also what we did too is looked at, okay, who's talking about the product? Who's using the product? What are we hearing about the product? What do we know about the people? And I spend quite a bit of time with Mel and talking to Mel, and lots of great conversations, but there was just a great synergy and understanding of the problem that we were trying to solve. And so we were able to come together in a really good way and create something to solve the problem. And that's why we're so pleased to be able to work with you.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess more holistically as well, I mean, why is digital signing so relevant with BGL? Why is it a good addition as a, bolt-on, I suppose, as a part of your platform or platforms?
Look, traditionally, a lot of our clients were still using the manual process for sending documents out for signing, right? Now, apart from the whole process of having to, put things in an envelope, put a stamp and track. And what people are also doing is that they were using multiple systems. And I'll give you a great example. When it comes to the ASIC side of it, and I could use the SMSF side of it too, but what they do is that they'd send out a document, and then they'd have a spreadsheet set up with when the document may have been sent out, or an annual review was sent out or received. And then they've got calendar entries. They're sitting there as to send themselves automated reminders for a document not being received within 7 days, or a deadline approaching. And what we've been able to do is really bring that all into one product and say, okay, documents generated, we parcel it up, we package it up, we send it for digital signing, and then the auto tracking, the auto reminder, and the whole ability to see the complete workflow from delivery to completion of signing just reduces so much time, and it eliminates so many steps within a process, which, okay, for some of your clients, digital signing will not work, because I know that you'll have some clients that will just refuse to do things digitally. I get that, but 95% will take it on. And many a time it's about the accounting firms who are delivering these services communicating to their clients. Okay, this is the way we're going. This is the way we're going to be delivering documents. This is the way we want to do business with you. And then running things like webinars or information sessions, or bringing clients in for workshops to actually help them set up their mobiles, or to go through exactly what the process will look like and what they're going to receive from the accounting firm. So it's not just a matter of set and forget. It's a matter of re-education, changing your processes, and encouraging client uptake.
Definitely.
I've got a quick question here from Homer about how long does it take to generate the file to be signed and send it to the client, and how much does it cost per file? So Jackson, you want to talk about the pricing side, but what I can say is that I'm going to show it in CAS 360 in a moment. But literally, to generate the documents and the document pack with all supporting documentation and sending it to the client literally takes a few minutes. Very simple. And I will show you that in a moment. But Jackson, maybe you want to speak more about price.
Look, and we will definitely dive into the pricing, because we've got a couple of little cheeky things on for everyone that's on here for today anyway. But like Daniel mentioned, so realistically with FuseSign, we've got as a general, we've got a special pricing for BGL clients. So if you go onto the website, you'll see within our plans, you get X amount of signing credits per month. Typically a credit with FuseSign is a signer. So if Daniel and I are sending just some documents, it's 2 credits. If anything you're sending out from the BGL platforms only consumes 1 credit per transaction, despite the amount of signers. So you're realistically literally looking at that $1 to $1.20 for anything sent from BGL. So whenever I'm talking to firms that are looking to leverage FuseSign with BGL, I don't typically say too much. I just say go and try it. The price point really speaks for itself, both what we've got for right now and ongoing. So it's a pretty easy win on that side.
And just to add to what Jackson said, so what he was saying is that, and just to reconfirm, if you have a document at the moment that requires 10 signatures, you're paying between $1 and $1.20 for the entire documents pack.
Correct.
Now, don't look at it just though from a pricing perspective. I want you to also, I want clients, and I'm encouraging people here to actually also look at it from an experience, a support, and a service perspective. Because there's no point something costing you a little bit of money, but it's extending or adding more to your processes or extending your process time out.
Definitely.
It's more than just the price, because there's true value in what we've been able to deliver through redefining the processes, which we know, in the past were quite cumbersome. Now we're just getting a couple of questions. I think we should just grab these. Does the price point also include CAS documents sent out? Absolutely, it does. The whole lot. And I'll show you the document pack in a moment when Jackson is willing to share the screen with me at some point.
I will.
Share the stage.
I was
I'll go through that, but whenever we do that, we'll do that together. And I'm actually delighted to show you, because it is a beautiful integration.
Yeah, cool. The only thing I was going to mention there as well is you're talking about the client experience again, and we're sort of banging on that point. I don't want to sort of drum on the COVID thing too much, but I think if there's one thing that had a bit of a shining light for COVID, is that we had more of a reason to look at different ways of working, and our clients, your clients, are no different to that. I think it's transparent across all industries and all spaces. So we're finding the uptake on digital signing is much more preferred. I'm still talking to firms who have clients who didn't know that there was a different way, who were going down to FuseWorks and having the people at FuseWorks help them print out documents so they can sign it, scan it, return it. So the education piece is huge, just to kind of go back to your point there. But I think a lot of us are becoming more and more familiar with this way of working. And I guess with us as well, having the integrations is valuable because we want to try and give your clients the same sign-on experience across the board as much as we can. So obviously FuseSign is using a standalone tool, but the integrations that we do have, like with BGL, just gives us that ability to make sure that anytime we're sending any documents to clients, they know what they're looking at because they're getting that same experience despite where it's coming through from. So just to kind of round off what you said there, Daniel, I know you're keen to jump in and give us a rundown.
I'm waiting very patiently. But while I get ready, Jackson, there's a couple of questions there in the Q&A and also in the chat that you may just want to go through while I just get ready. So you may want to just stop sharing your screen and I'll jump over.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the questions here is any integration with FuseSign and Xero. So currently we don't integrate with Xero in the way that the Xero Sign platform is working. We do have a direct integration with XPM. And the idea there is that we're trying to be able to provide one source of truth for where the data is being pulled through from. So at this point in time with XPM and not with Xero directly. So that hopefully answers your question there, but that integration with XPM is really nice if you're using FuseSign and not using XPM at this stage.
Okay. So so keep going through those questions. Just move something across here.
Yep. And there was a question, do we integrate with Tweetbots? Currently, Tweetbots has their own signing capabilities within their platform. So not at this point in time, we don't. The integrations that we have with document management is around FYI. So for those of using FYI, we do have a direct integration with their platform there.
Yep. Okay. So you should be able to see my my screen there. Can you just confirm that, Jackson? Yeah,
you're all good. Perfect.
Okay. So look, I'm just going to go through a couple of things here in relation to the setup and how easy to set up, and then I'll go through a bit of a demonstration around the software. So with the integration side, so within our software for all three, Simple Invest 360, Simple Fund 360, and Cads 360, at the top here, there's this little option here, which is like a series of little boxes, and it's called the app switcher. If we go into the app switcher and we go into the integrations area, you can actually see here that this particular app, this is where all your connected apps are. And you can see here that FuseSign is connected to the Cads 360 product. And if I have a look in the view, I can not only just see how it's connected, and I can also establish a connection through the previous screen, but I can also see exactly which apps it's connected to within here. So this is where you control the integrations. This is where you can turn them on and off, and this is where you can manage the integration. So effectively, we set them up very basically. Once the connection is established, you can then start using them within the software. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through a quick demo of Cads 360 and how simple it is to get documents digitally signed and then sent through to your clients. Now, what I have here on my screen is I have a change of directors, and it's an appointment of director. And I've done this through the company screen and through offices. I simply have the director appointment put in place. And on the bottom there, you can see this little option there called Prepare Forms. Now, when I go to click Prepare Forms, what comes up is not only the form, which is required by ASIC, and it's all obviously pre-filled, but then what also comes up is all the supporting documentation for the change that I'm notifying. Now, when I go into the electronic signing options, you can see here that it's going to tell you who the person who's going to be receiving the option to digitally sign will go to. Now, there are a couple of options there that you can use SMSF as two-factor authentication for signatories if you want. And you can also see on the screen very easily who the signing provider is. So in this case here, Mac Thompson will be receiving this document pack available for digital signing. So I'm happy with the settings. I click on Save, and then on the bottom, I simply go to Send All. Now, what the Send All will do is it'll take you to the email template, which includes all the information, including the wording that you may pick up as default from Cads 360, or you can customize any of these templates if you like. And then what it will then do is it'll give you the option just to view it. You can see exactly who it's going to. And then by clicking on Send, what the system will now do is it will send the documents through to your client for digital signing. Now, you can see here that it's taking a little bit of time to compile and send it through. But effectively now, that document pack has been sent to the client literally within a couple of moments. Now, what we love about this, and what we've been able to really refine as a process, is when I now go into the documents area, I can now see that the document for this particular change has been sent to the client. I can very easily hover over the change to see what change is included on the form. But then more importantly, I can see that this particular document was sent to the client via FuseSign on the date. Now, many of you may not know this, or maybe are not using this, but from within here, this is where we can also just keep track of the document. We can also send options or send things such as document reminders to remind the client that the document needs to be signed if they haven't got it back within a period of time. Now, the beauty about what we've designed is that on the company screen, these particular filters will tell you when documents are up for lodgement. So you can not only send the reminder through the document screen, you can also send the reminders directly from the company screen. And you can push all of this through here. So instead of going through that process of working through multiple systems to work out what you need to send to your clients, it can very easily be done between your document screen and also your company selection screen. Now, the question we get asked is then what does the client then do and what do they receive? And you can see here that within my inbox, I have an email sent to me with the subject line saying documents for this particular company are ready to be signed. The client would simply go through the process of opening up the document and then clicking on review documents, and then they can proceed to digital signing. So they go through the review documents process, and it will open up obviously the integration, and then we can get started. This is what the client will see on their end. Okay, so we then click on start signing, and I simply put in my name, Daniel Tramontana, sign, and then the system will go through all the areas within the documents that this needs to be signed. And now the beauty about what we've built is that all the documents are marked up. So you don't have to go through and work out where particular fields need to be marked up to be signed. They are all automatically marked up. So you can see here that the system is now just going through the process of taking your client through all the areas of the form, the minutes, the resolutions, and whatever other documentation that needs to be digitally signed. And then at the end, they complete the signing, and the client is advised that the document signing process is now complete. But then let's go a step further. What does this then look like on CAS 360, and how are you notified? Really simply, when I go into CAS 360, I have this little thing here called notifications. And this will tell you when a document has come back and has been signed. Now you can see directly from the notification screen that the director has signed, Mac Thompson has signed the document, and then now directly from this screen, I can also lodge the document. That is an incredibly efficient feature that in the past was just literally not possible. What we've done is we've thought about the process. We've heard some great feedback from our users. We know what the pain points are, and we've attempted to address those through processes and through workflows that not only make sense, but also give you great clarity as to what's going on. So within here now, I can obviously go and lodge this document, but then once again, I can also go into the documents area and I can see that the document has been signed by the client, right? So this is where you can track all of it. And if you click on the history, and I love this feature about CAS 360, because if a client ever says to you, didn't send me a reminder, well, we keep track of it. If a client doesn't recall signing a document, you can see that it's been signed, but we give you a full history of the interaction that you have with that client's document pack. And this here, you can go back to this at any particular point in time and refer to it if you need to. But that whole process now has really gone from a really cumbersome method of doing things and putting documents together and sending to your clients. There's literally a few mouse clicks. And this is the difference that our integration makes. And this is why we partner up with organizations such as FuseWorks and integrate with their product FuseSign, because it solves a real problem. and it delivers great value to our clients. And you can see that yourselves. And then obviously this integration is also in Simple Fund 360 and in Simple Invest 360. So you can see here that I have a report pack which is needing to be signed. All I need to do is I select the report pack that I want. And here I select the signing pack. I click on digital signing and I go through the process of digitally signing the documents, so also preparing the documents digitally to send to my clients. Now, one of the things that you can do in Simple Fund 360, which is a little bit different to Cads 360, is that you can upload third-party documents into the product. So if you have any minutes or resolutions or other documents that you want digitally signed that don't form part of your traditional pack, you can add to these also, and they will form part of the documents that your client needs to digitally sign.
Yeah, I love this, Daniel, like that ability to be brought through. That's awesome.
No, it's a beauty.
Bringing those third parties.
And look, and I know, and we know that with our clients that there are many, many cases where, with end of year SMSF work, they want to attach some additional documents, and this gives you the flexibility to add those and get those digitally signed also. So I could spend so much time on this, but just think about the traditional methods of preparing, delivering, managing the process to now literally done within a few mouse clicks. That's the difference that it makes. And the price point is amazing. I love the price point, but there's more to a product than just price. It's about the experience, it's about the process, and it's about the real efficiencies that it delivers to you as a user. And we know that this works. And this is why the integration is so popular. And this is why today there's well over 230 people here, because yes, it's something that clients need to consider. If you haven't considered it, I encourage you to consider it. It's so easy to set up, so easy to work with, it's so easy to learn. And what it does is it allows you to deliver to your clients an experience that many, many other organizations are moving towards today. But it's more than that. It also further strengthens your relationship and the experience that you're able to deliver to your clients, and hopefully making them more and more engaged and or sticky, which is really important too. Awesome. I'm done, Jackson.
That was great. Well, we've got a ton of questions coming in. I just want everyone to know that we're not ignoring them. I think a lot of these, it's going to be relevant. We're just going to get through this last part and then we'll start diving in, because we've had some really, really good questions through. And I'll just share my screen again, and Daniel, you can start reading through all those questions that have popped in. Hopefully my correct screen is sharing for us as well. I guess the next point to all that, and as Daniel mentioned, I mean, look, like I said, when I speak to clients who are looking at utilizing digital signing for BGL and they're asking about the process, I literally just tell them to go and give it a go, have a play with it. So easy to use, it's so easy to set up. And what you might have noticed in there as well is if you do currently have a digital signing tool connected already and you want to give FuseSign a go as an alternative, you can now have the ability to connect more than one digital signing tool up to any of your BGL platforms. So anything that you currently have up for signing with an existing tool will not be affected. It'll just mean anything new that you're going to send out will be using FuseSign to do so, to facilitate that signing experience. Your process is exactly the same, which is beautiful as well. There's no change management for the team. It's just a slightly different signing experience for your clients. So I guess the next big question is, how do people get started and how do they give this a go? Go and grab a 14-day free trial with FuseSign. In your trial, you are more than welcome to go through and connect it to any of our integration partners that we have available. BGL is the really simple one to start with. There's a lot of efficiency gains right off the bat that you can gain from that, as we've just seen. So go get a free trial. We don't need any commitment, any credit cards or anything silly like that. Just your name and your email so we can send you the invite. Definitely worth doing. Go through and get it set up with BGL. We are here to help. So myself and all my team are around at all times if you do need any support getting that connected or utilizing as well. Obviously, FuseSign is a standalone tool. There's a lot more that we can do within that. So looking at other areas of your business where you might want to facilitate some digital signing. So jump on the website, get a 14-day free trial. We're about to launch a poll as well to get some details off you so we can give you a hand to do that. But it would not be the end of the financial year if we did not throw out a bit of a deal. So as I mentioned a bit earlier, as a standard pricing that we offer for BGL firms, it is 1 credit per transaction. So despite the number of signers that you have within a pack being sent via any BGL platform, you only consume a single credit. On top of that, until June 30, we are also offering 1 month free or 3 months free on our business light or above plans, which is the plan that you would require for our integrations regardless. So take a little screenshot if you haven't already. Of course, we will make these available for you if you don't, but that's on again until June 30. So it's a really, really good time if you've been considering it. We want to roll into the new year, with all the best of breed practices and workflows. So it's a really good chance to do that. So worth jumping on. Now, before we get into the Q&A, I'm going to launch a poll, as we likely have a few of us that may want a bit more help to get started.
What's the poll going to be, Jackson?
Who's
never hear
from Daniel again, because I'll only have webinars with Jackson next time because he was a lot of fun. Something of the likes. But look, 14-day free trial, of course, you're more than welcome to if you pop that in. Our team will go through and get that organized for you. You'll get an intro email with an email likely from myself as well. So if you need my details to give you help, any sort of help at all, I am happy to. The other one is request a call. So if you would like to hear from BGL or ourselves, if you just want to have a chat through, and there were quite a few questions that came through. So Andy in particular, you've had some awesome questions. I would recommend you request a call so you and I can have a bit more of a chat around your questions, although we'll get to them shortly. So I'll just leave that up for now. And yeah, it's a lot of responses. That's great.
Yeah, look, just, okay, so there's a lot of questions here, and what we'll do is that if I can't get to all of them, Jackson, can we just get a list of all the chats?
Yeah.
And we'll come back to the people individually. We're more than happy to do that. There's a couple of things here, so I'm just going to go as quickly as I can.
Yeah, I'll just leave that poll up for now.
Do you integrate with Suite Files?
Yeah, so I answered that before. So we currently don't integrate with Suite Files. They've got their own signing capabilities within their platform. So not at this point in time, we don't integrate with Suite Files. It's only FYI in terms of document management for us at this point.
Does the price point also include Cads documents sent out? Absolutely, it does. So that's all part of the parcel. Is there any integration with FuseSign and Xero?
Yeah, so we have an integration with XPM. So that's for all your client contact details. Obviously, we're trying to rely on that single source of truth, so you're not having to manage too many databases where possible. We don't have a direct integration with Xero, the same as what like their Xero Sign does. That might change in future, but for this point in time, just with the XPM platform.
Just a question from Joshua. Most clients would be signing on their phone, tablet. What does it look like on the phone?
Mate, get a trial and go and play with it. That is my advice to you. My preferred method of signing is via the phone. Like I said, my accountant uses that for me all the time because I'm a bit tragic. So yeah, go and have a trial, send yourself some documents and see what it looks like on the iPhone or the the iPad or whatever it might be. It's the best way for you to test that out. Yeah,
and look, the experience is pretty good.
I love it. Yeah,
it's a very good experience. Can you add documents to, i.e. order engagement letter? Absolutely, you can. Will the signed document be automatically filed in Cads 360? Yes, through the document screen, we got the notification telling that the client had digitally signed. That will then come into Cads 360 as a signed document, and it will be marked as a signed document. How does this work with signing fund minutes, and does the ATO allow this? Yes, it does.
Yep.
The information that we have is that is the case. The one that there's still a little bit of I suppose ambiguity around, or there's sort of mixed messages around, is really the deeds and the deed establishment for an SMSF. I know that we can digitally sign incorporations for companies and stuff, but it's more around the deeds for SMSFs. But I won't go into that too much. But yes, you can have those signed, and the ATO is okay with those. So normally you have to tell the system where the client needs to sign and date the form. Does BGL do this automatically? As you saw within the process, Joshua, as the client goes through the signing process, it automatically takes the client to the area on the form where it needs to be signed. So it does all of that for you automatically. You don't have to do any of that manually. Madison, yes, we can add third-party documents and the system will mark those up for you. So it's got RCV, hundreds of notifications from ASIC. Any chance we could be another tab provided under notifications, just reserved for digital notifications? Angela, that's a good point. And I will send that through to the product team right now. And I've sent that through to the product team for you now. That's a really good point. I had a question before about a couple of the forms that were still signed manually, and it was one of the very first questions from Andy Barnfield. So from what I've got here, what we're waiting is, at the moment, nothing's really changed on that position. So those forms that are still manual will still need to be digitally signed, will still need to be signed manually. There's a couple of forms that ASIC hasn't moved across, but there's a whole new ABRS system and this whole modernizing business register system that's coming out, which will then move everything to electronic. And I think, if I'm not wrong, they're looking for a deployment date of later next year. So they will eventually all go electronically, but there are still some that you cannot get digitally signed.
Yeah. And I think it's probably worth noting, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Daniel, but within the BGL platforms as well, if there's something that can't be digitally signed, there's not even the option to send it for digital signature. Is that correct?
Yeah. Sorry, can you just repeat that?
If there are any documents that aren't able to be digitally signed, there's not even an option within the BGL platforms to allow them to send for digital signature. So you won't accidentally send something for digital signing. The platform just won't even offer it as an option. So you can use that as a bit of a guide to say, well, if an option's not here, there's a really good chance we can't have that digitally signed.
Okay, so there's a couple other questions. Can a client draw their own signature in FuseSign?
Yeah, we are. Yep. So the ability to, I call it something weird the other day, but the ability to scribble the signature is coming shortly. I won't give it a date because the dev team will kill me, but we have that in progress at the moment. In terms of what's required for digital signature, it's really just the audit trail and being able to validate the person. But we will give the ability. We know some clients like to have that that ability to do so. So yes, very shortly.
Yeah, and that, I suppose, is how you'll be giving your autograph, won't you, Jackson?
Yes, that's right. So anyone who wants can simply send me a FuseSign bundle and I would be happy to oblige. And any integration with Class. So no, we currently don't integrate with Class. Nah. Sorry.
So I've got a couple of other ones here.
There was
how come BGL moved away from DocuSign? We haven't moved away from DocuSign. That integration still does exist, but yeah, there are obviously some differences, and it's something that we would encourage you to look at. Is assigning credit effectively the same as an envelope in DocuSign? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Look, in terms of sending something through from BGL, but actually with FuseSign, it's quite different. So
yes,
DocuSign have a per envelope cost, which is someone said before, it's $4.50 per envelope. We work, because we're more specific to this space and we know the variety of different documents and bundle types that are being sent out, we work on a per signing credit basis. So if you were just sending me my ITR to sign, that's one credit, which is effectively $1 to $1.20. If you're sending a pack of documents to a family group and there are 6 different moving parts, then that'll be 6 credits. So it's more of a fair use policy that we have. So obviously it depends on what you're currently paying with DocuSign. We're typically quite competitive when it comes to their pricing point, but we work a little bit differently with things outside of BGL.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a number of other questions here, which I'll try and do our best to get through. With the integration with FYI Docs, does it file the signed documents automatically to the client in FYI Docs? Yes. Yeah. If you are a BGL, FuseSign, and FYI firm, it's a good time to be around. There's a lot of efficiencies that really, really well. Yep. So, okay, how we build? Tanya asked, and that's something that you. Yep. Yeah, look, you'll have your own separate subscription with FuseSign, so your billing all goes through us. Again, FuseSign originally was built and developed as a standalone tool. We offer these integrations for you guys to be able to gain a lot more efficiencies across different parts of the business, and obviously offering the client a single experience when it comes to signing, as I mentioned. So no, your billing goes through us. So it'll be a separate subscription to what you have with BGL. So the other question Claire had here, does it allow multiple page signing? Yes, it does. So like in Cads 360, generally, like for example, there might be multiple changes you're doing and the minutes may go over 3 or 4 pages. Obviously the system will mark up where it needs to be signed. And if there's multiple signatures required and we recognize that, then we'll automatically mark up the documents. Yeah. So that's all handled automatically. Yeah. So in Cads, from Andy Barnfield, in Cads using FuseSign, who's the email sender? Is it me or a generic Cads email? You can set up yourself and it can be made to set up so it looks like it's coming from you. Yeah. That's stuff that we're happy to work through with you, Andy. There's quite a few options there that we're able to work with you. Another one, Okay, so can upload third-party documents available in Cads. I believe that's something that we will add at some point. I'm not sure exactly as the status of that, but I'm happy to come back to you, Andy, and go through that with you. Just put this through to the product team. Thank you.
Just trying to keep up with these questions. Ashley mentioned as well, what does the signing process look like for clients signing on their mobile? So same as I mentioned before, Ashley, I'd recommend that you jump in and grab a trial and send yourself some documents as a bit of an example to see how you find it. That's you know, I wouldn't be able to show you very well on my phone, obviously. So I reckon just jump into a trial and have a bit of a play with it and see what your thoughts are. Again, it's Daniel and I's preferred method of signing, definitely, because I know a lot of clients are like that now.
Yeah. Okay, so can custom documents be uploaded and signed by FuseSign and BGL 360 and Simple Fund 360? Yes, they can. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to the one in CAS 360. I'm just waiting for something from a product manager at the moment, which is good. Okay. Could you please repeat the answer to this question? How much does it cost per file?
Is that for something out of Cads or something out of?
So how much does it cost? For FuseSign.
Yeah, so a credit with FuseSign is anywhere, depending on the plan that you're on, anywhere from $1 up to $1.20 when using through BGL. And again, it's 1 credit per transaction. So anything you send from BGL would cost you around that $1 to $1.20 mark. So it's not per file, it's per transaction. If that wasn't clear before, I apologize. Yep.
So we use the FuseDocs cover letter function and cover letter function. Does BGL 360 support cover letter generation using the existing template? April, I just want some more clarity around that because our templates are fully customizable, and I just want to get some further detail around that. But what I'll do is I'm going to put that also through to a product manager, and we'll come back to you on that one.
Yeah, this one from Andy as well. A digital signed documents from FuseSign, 1 accepted by ASIC if they're shown up on the doorstep to do an audit, and 2 accepted in the court of law in case of dispute. So yeah, of course. Look, we follow pretty strict guidelines around the Transaction Act, which is our main guidelines in terms of what we should be doing, and that's all as a very high standard in terms of what's required for digital signatures to be valid. Obviously, like we've mentioned, there are certain documents that cannot be digitally signed yet because there are still, a few laggers there, and it can be per state as well as, different rules at a federal level. But in terms of what we need to be abiding by to be able to prove the validation of documents being sent and signed through FuseSign, yes, 100%. Yes, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so does FuseSign allow me to 1, send the document pack manager to sign? 2, to each signer of the pack. 3, back to manager to approve for lodgement. 4, back to me to sign approve, so I know it's ready to lodge. At our firm, we have more people other than clients to sign documents in document pack.
Cool, Andy. Yeah, we definitely need to have a chat. So this would be, there's a couple of things within FuseSign here, and I'll try not to dive into it too much, but there's workflow, and then there's also sequential signing. And look, this is outside of BGL. The BGL integration we keep quite simple because it only needs to be simple for the most part. Anything being sent from FuseSign directly, we have a workflow that allows you to push bundles or envelopes, as some might know it. Push bundles of documents to and from, but then also have sequential signing, which means if we have recipients within a pack, we can have it sent to a manager first to sign, who doesn't trigger that email across to the client until that signing action has been completed. So there are a couple of things there in terms of how you're doing it. Hopefully you've responded to the poll, because I think we definitely need to chat. So a short answer is yes. Whether it's exactly the way that you would be doing it now might be a little different, but yes, we can help with that. Does FuseSign have a webinar on how to video that clients can view? Also, can clients save a copy of the documents once they've signed? Michelle, yeah, that's a really good question. So we do, part of our resources and a big part of what we do is making sure that when, a lot of our clients might come from your other existing digital signing tools, but a huge amount of our clients come from no digital signing, which means their clients are not familiar. So we have quite a few resources, including a video which shows them their steps on how to go through and sign using FuseSign. We find that covers about 95% of concerns or questions that come through. But again, our team are here to help as well if there are anything's outstanding from there. But we find, and I do get feedback from those clients who have come from no digital signing, because that's where we really rely on that feedback. And so far the feedback's been brilliant. So a lot of uptake, more so than what
our firms probably think there's going to be from their client base. So yes, we provide a ton of resources to help with that.
Yep. Well,
awesome. Great,
Jackson,
great questions. Yep.
We've been through pretty much everything. And insofar as the webinar, we will have a recording, and I believe we'll make that available to you.
Yep.
But also, please do consider the special offers available. Avail yourself to it. You'll love the process. You'll love the integration. And I know that many of you are BGL users, and I know that many of you really appreciate the way we go about our service and experience that we deliver through our products, support, and everything else that we do. You won't get any lesser from the group at FuseWorks. Great team, great people, and just give it a go. You won't lose. You can't lose anything by giving it a try.
No.
So there's actually another question there before I wrap it up. Can FuseSign be used with no integration?
Yes, 1,000,000%. Yes. So anything ad hoc that you have needing to go out from the business, engagement letters, just ITRs, whatever it might be, definitely, yes. That's where FuseSign, again, was sort of developed to begin with. So we've got a great piece of software there that can be used outside of any integration. So yes, more than welcome to, Claire, if you want to jump into a trial, if you haven't responded to the poll or done that already, 100% jump in and do that. Yeah.
And where's your server based?
As I said, so we work through Microsoft Azure. So all hosted within Australia. Our development team, our support team, myself and my team are all based here in Brisbane. Yeah.
Perfect.
Where it's a bit warmer than Melbourne. Sometimes. Yeah. It
is.
Can't argue with that one.
Look, I'm going to wrap it up, Jackson, and I just want to thank everybody who attended on behalf of, FuseWorks and BGL. I'd just like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out to attend today's webinar. As I said before, please do avail yourselves to the offers that are available there. You can't lose anything by giving it a try. I know that you will be impressed. Jackson, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You actually impressed me.
Oh, did I? Shocking.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, good. Well,
no, but you know what I love? I love your passion for it. Right?
I do, yeah. No, I do. I never thought I'd be as interested in digital sign as what I am, but when people start talking to me about it, I can't shut up, which is odd.
Yeah, well, it's not odd that you can't shut up, but but your passion, I love about it. And what we love is engaging with people that are passionate about what they do and they believe in what they do. And that's why we work so well together. So
totally agree.
Thank you, Jackson. It's been
Thanks
a pleasure.
for having me.
And, no, I've loved it. I've really enjoyed every bit of it. Loved having you on board.
Yeah, it's been a great session. And thank you for having us. And thank you for everyone who jumped in. We have a few people jumping in the chat. You're all most welcome. Thanks for having us. And Jackson, we are around to help if you need.
Jackson, you know what we'll do? We'll just put our email addresses in the chat.
Of course. Yep.
If anyone does want to contact us direct, please do so. Jackson's put his email address in there. I've put my email address in there. We'd be more than happy to help you out with any questions or things that you may have. So thank you. Thanks once again, Jackson. So that and
thanks, guys. Of course, we'll do. Have a great end of your day, and we'll chat all shortly.
Have a great day.
Great. Thanks, guys.